while gas prices are still through the roof. And they, these prices, they skyrocket, and then they come down a few cents and say, look, oh, we helped you. It's the steal from your house and help you look for what they stole technique, or the bash your knees and give you a wheelchair, even though the wheelchair costs a fortune and it's their fault that you're in the wheelchair, but you should just be thankful that they brought you the wheelchair. You probably would have died otherwise. What is up? My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. This, of course, is the epicenter for all of your current and captivating coastal elite chaos. So please hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a comment or two, share this with a friend. Let's go. From CBS News, November 16th, 2023, PG&E bills to increase by nearly 13% starting January 1st. So they spent the better part of the last decade or so trying to force you to drive an electric car, but then they told you that the man who's been made famous for producing electric cars is a fascist, but also they don't know what a fascist is. This is a mess at its very best, and to say it is a manipulative scam, yet again targeting unsuspecting Californians who refuse to connect the dots, would be an understatement. And they are telling us that this price hike will fund wildfire protection, so they let the problems completely spiral out of control, then sell you a solution. And in their defense, they say the bills are going to climb for 2 years and then go back down after that, which is another thing they do because they assume that you can't remember what you even had for breakfast. So in 3 years, when your electricity bills drop $2 or $3, they're going to say that, hey, look, we were looking out for you. We did it for you. And when I say they, I mean PG&E and the political regime that continue to put the screws to normal Californians while naturally letting the criminal element run wild. But that, of course, is a different story. And for the record, the last time, and I don't want to make this completely political, of course, but the last time California saw a quote-unquote Republican governor or governator was 2003, because then Governor Gray Davis was recalled after allegedly manipulating energy prices with rolling blackouts and stuff like that, intentionally driving prices through the roof. And I'd probably even assume that in 2023 we would kill for the inflated prices of 2003. But this is the same type of mob tactics that we see over and over again with these people. And remember when a former governor of San Francisco and a former state senator were involved in some criminal behavior and co-defendants with a known Chinatown gangster, and then a more recent mayor of San Francisco paid nearly $23,000 in ethics violations fines, and then clear across the country, because this is the Coastal Elite Chaos channel, in New York City, de Blasio's wife ran away with nearly $1 billion. You also had Spitzer, Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, who was right behind Kathy Hochul just recently, and current mayor of New York, Eric Adams, being investigated by the feds because he pushed back on the migrant crisis, which I don't believe to be true. But that, of course, is a different story. I get completely off track. I got to stay focused. The point here is West Coast Gas Company hikes rates and claims it's going to save the residents from wildfires that happen every year. So why are you doing it now? Why didn't you do this in 2009? Why didn't you do this in 2014 or 2017? Probably because it has less to do with mitigating wildfires and more to do with the skyrocketing gas prices, inflation, and the continued commie takeover that's happening in California. This is real, like, fog of war stuff. So while the electricity bills are going through the roof, they've also decided that several Bay Area refineries should just stop making gas. October 2023, 2 of 5 Bay Area refineries to stop making gasoline. So these refineries were going to switch to renewable biodiesel fuel or whatever to protect us from Greta and the sun monster and all that stuff. But the upgrade or the remodel or the revamp or whatever you want to call it was halted because that wasn't environmentally friendly. And I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago. But it's just a never-ending cycle. They try to upgrade to produce cleaner fuel, but the upgrade itself is not clean enough. I mean, it's just beyond parody at this point. So, also in 2023, judge halts major Bay Area refinery project for state environmental review. I mean, you just can't win. It is a vicious, vicious cycle. Like that clip that went viral recently of a woman who gets mad because a patron at her job or restaurant or bar or whatever it is guesses that she's a they them, and then she's like, well, I don't like that either.
This person just came into the bar and said, hey, what are your pronouns? You kind of look like a they them. And I hated that they were right.
I mean, it's just they clearly don't want any solutions. They only want to remain angry. But in conclusion, I suppose, while gas prices are still through the roof, and they, these prices, they skyrocket, and then they come down a few cents and say, look, oh, we helped you. It's the steal from your house and help you look for what they stole technique, or the bash your knees and give you a wheelchair, even though the wheelchair costs a fortune, and it's their fault that you're in the wheelchair, but you should just be thankful that they brought you the wheelchair. You probably would have died otherwise. And if you're in Canada, they'd probably rather kill you than give you the wheelchair, but that too is a different story. I digress. In California, they have basically been demanding that you drive an electric car, even though the power grid can't handle it. They drive up the electricity prices. The gas prices are through the roof, so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Go! Move! Go! Move! Go! 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 Oh. There is no escaping the regime. And even if you try to, or trying to escape, trying to get from under the thumb of the regime will undoubtedly become criminal very soon. Meanwhile, they are taxing regular business owners and regular residents through the roof. They're letting criminals run wild. They are bowing to the alphabet mob, and anybody who notices is automatically going to be made the bad guy. But on the plus side, the weather is beautiful.